Okay, so I see that I am live. Early birds, some of you have already turned up. Good morning or good afternoon, depending a little bit which part of the world you are in. Some of you may even be evening. And this is our second event. We had one very, very early this morning that started for me at the ungodly 4 a.m. So, but this one is in California now, it's 10 a.m. So welcome. Welcome to this event. We're gonna wait a few minutes just to make sure that we get more team members to join. I'm very excited. Today we're gonna talk about something brand new, the virtual campus and the future of education. The idea with this is to share some exciting news about the products that can help not only education, but anyone that's a knowledge transfer to better learn, better train, better perform, how you can get access to these tools today. And then I also will demonstrate some new exciting features. One of them is the ability to say anything. Let's say I'm interested to see this room that we're looking in the picture. So something that looks British and it's kind of historical, but it has been renovated and it has an organic feeling. And it will generate not a picture, but it will generate a 3D environment, an environment that I can then insert in my experiences and lessons. So that's one of these new things. And then, of course, we're going to talk about the Train AI, how you can use things like take your manuals, your paper manuals if you do instructions, or your curriculum for a course that is paper-based or PDF-based, feed it to EON, and then out comes a complete interactive, immersive lesson without no human interaction, all totally generated by AI. We're also going to talk about and show, not only about talk about it, is soft skills, the ability to tailor your training so you can exercise how I can be better at presentation techniques, how I can be a better negotiator, how I can handle my job interviews if I'm in HR. And there's 140 different topics. We can share that. And then I know there's been a lot of questions about interact, how I can program, because most extended reality experience, you have to somehow create interaction. You know, things explode, you push a button, something happens. And how can we do that without any coding, just by saying it? We have some strong improvements on the product in version 9.8. And finally, there's been a lot of requests from users to improve the play mode. So the way EON works, for you that are not as familiar, is that you are using AI to help you to create things. And then once it helps you to create things, then you have to play, so the students will be assessed in whatever you have created. And there we've added a lot of new features on top of the things like quizzes, identify, locate, 3D assessment, and now we have Jeopardy, which is a fun interactive method to evaluate your knowledge. So those are the things that we will share with you. And then I bet that almost everybody has tried the GPTs. This is a 1 week old capability that OpenAI, one of our partners, has unleashed. And we love ChatGPT. We have integrated with it in the past. In fact, EON is AI has a default as ChatGPT, although we are not limited to that. And then we think the GPTs will offer something new. So very soon you will see the GPTs. So what does that mean? That you can be anywhere. It can be, if you're a customer for EON, you can be in a cafe and someone asks you, what's this? How can I turn text into immersive 3D experience? And you just go to your GPT and you say, I would like to have an experience about Giza pyramid. And then it goes from GPT to EON. EON builds that experience, and back comes a link, and you click on that link and you bring your phone if you have a phone with you or a PC, and the Giza pyramid will appear there on your table at the restaurant, and an avatar will present it to you. So we have those GPTs. We call it GPT-2XR. We also have baby GPTs. One is that helps you create. one that helps you explore the real life, one that helps you with role play, and one that gives you access to the library. And this is coming out soon. The benefit of that for EON and for you is that 1.4 billion visitors, a little bit more than EON has every month. So once you create your experience, it's very easy to advertise them and increase the marketplace. The marketplace is expected to be released this month, and that will be married with EON's marketplace. So you can have, as you know today, if you publish things on the marketplace, you get 80% of the revenues when you set the price. So now you basically open a super duper show. It's like having your goods on Walmart versus in a boutique. So that's very exciting. Now, by now, I think everybody's here, so let's get started. So I'll do a little bit, this morning it was a long presentation. Today, this afternoon, I'll try to make the presentation shorter and leave room for questions. So let's put it in context. I will try to answer 3 questions: why, what, and how. Why is this something you should care about? What exactly is EON offering, and how can you go about, if you're interested, to follow the success path that more than 4,000 academic institutions, governments, and enterprises have already deployed? And the number one reason is spatial AI. Spatial AI. If you look at AI, 75% of workforce needs to be ramped up. According to World Economic Forum, this has to happen in the next 3 years. EON is a leader in this fact. We've been a leader for the last 25 years. We have 10 different products that I will go through in a second. We have more than 100 countries across the world. We have more than 42 million downloaded viewer experiences. So we understand this market pretty well. Now, the first question anyone ask is, okay, so that's great, but why should I care? The reason is because this can help your organization to learn faster, or your students remember longer, make better decisions. So rather than me talking about it, let's listen in to PwC, PricewaterhouseCoopers.
We have conducted a study on virtual reality learning. We found learners in VR required less time to learn. They had higher emotional connection to the content, higher confidence, and were less distracted during the training.
Yeah, so 5 years ago when we set out to do this, we were excited about the opportunity, but the reality was that at that time, nobody was using this in volume, right? Because there were only 40 million people that had the headsets. So we said, okay, how can we make this available, accessible, affordable for everybody? So at that point, we developed EON XR, which solved 4 problems, make it easy to download on anything, on your phone, a tablet, made it very simple to create content. We had started with 20,000 assets. Now we have more than 9 million, and with 3D Infinity will be at unlimited number of content. 3D is not an obstacle anymore soon. And then, of course, we created this no-code environment to make it available, accessible for anything. So my mom can do this. So that was the first step. Then, as you know, for you that's followed EON, we developed the Merged XR. Merged XR helps you to, in seconds, take your phone or tablet, create a digital twin, injecting that digital twin in the physical environment, and be able to have the ability to see things in the real world, or to take those scan environments with you elsewhere. Spatial meeting enabled that to do it together with other people. So you select your avatar, you dive into an environment, and you can be live. You can use just your phone. You don't have to use headset if you don't want to. And you can be anywhere. I can attend a lesson at Stanford if that's provided. And I can go to an archaeological dig somewhere with my colleagues, etc. Metaverse Builder took that concept further. So instead of just having a meeting, you participate in the metaverse, and you can visit entire worlds. And you can build those worlds just by walking and talking. So that was a very expansive process that we took upon us last year. And then we took the final step here to create interactions just by saying, I want rotation, or I want this thing to touch and go. Boom. So those were the things we did as a basic tools. So then we said, okay, that's great, but how can we now use AI to help us throughout the whole process? Guide us, assist us, show us, tell us. Yeah, so that's where we introduced the AI assistant. Now, when I come to this part, for you that haven't seen this before, there's a little bit of disbelief if you look at all these PowerPoints. So I learned that perhaps the best way, rather than showing PowerPoint, is why don't I pick up my phone and show you? And for you that have seen this before, it's we'll kind of come to the new stuff very soon. So if you bear with us for a moment. So you can see here,
Hi,
create.
Lejerskar. Would you like to create with guided assistance, explore the physical world with AI assistance, browse the library of experiences, or start AI conversation?
This is live, so you can see my left hand here. So let's go for create.
Choose an AI persona to shape the tone and style of the content we will generate for you in the later stages.
That's important because that determines who will be.
Please locate a flat, non-reflective surface.
So I selected
Please
a
select a
professor.
topic from the following segments.
So I can
If you choose custom, you have the option to specify your own topic using your voice or keyboard.
You can do education, enterprise, or custom. I'm going to go for education. I'm going to go for healthcare. I'm going to choose allied health science. I'm going to choose medical procedure. And this is going to be created
You've
for me.
selected the topic medical procedures and techniques from the
So I'm going pretty fast here, guys.
Medical procedures and techniques involve various methods used in healthcare.
I skipped knowledge portals.
Select keywords to search for a 3D.
I'm going
A
search
3D object allows us to explore this subject.
So notice all I'm doing is selecting things based on a guided approach. I can also go freestyle if I prefer, but I like to
Select to explain about the parts or show the process.
Let's dive in.
This is a quick demonstration for the procedure of medical procedures and techniques. Step 1. Prepare the patient for surgery.
As you can see, I'll tone it down. He's going to explain to us medical procedure, endoscopy, anesthesia, biopsy, all these things. I can dive into that. But also I can see here that I'm seeing the reality. Here's my thumb sticking out. And I can stand up and walk around in this medical environment. So I'm actually there physically. I can look down and when I'm here, I can do a lot of things. I can, let's say stop, and you can see some options.
Add more objects, assessments, and annotations. Try out some quizzes or chat with the AI to explore the subject further.
So let's say I want to add more objects. I just click on that. Ventilator. So now I have a ventilator here. It's popped up. And the avatar is there to help me. I can do a number of things, but I can also, instead of being guided, I will jump off the wizard and I can go freestyle.
I'm your AI guide. You can ask me anything.
So I can interact here, as you can see here. I can record things. Good afternoon. Today we're gonna do a quick interaction standard operation procedure for this device. You have to remove this to connect it with 3 patients. Then you remove this part here. And then you, after you do it, let's say you put it all together back again. And you calibrate the monitor. So that was a quick 3D recording. There was an animation. And you can see here that meanwhile, it also generated a quiz about this device, what's a ventilator, identify. So AI has gone to work about this, but it also recorded my personal 3D recording. Let's go there. Good afternoon. Today we're gonna do a quick interaction standard operation procedure for this device. You have to remove this to connect it with 3 patients. Then you remove this part here. And then you, after you do it, let's say you put it all together back again. And you, okay. So that was a quick recording. That is linked to a 3D assessment. So if you look at it, there's a button here that I click. So I activate the 3D assessment, and then I have to do 3 steps. It will record what I do, and then it will play it for a student, and the student have to learn that standard operation procedure. So that's an example. There's so much more you can do here, but time doesn't allow. You can geoposition this. You can have AI to identify every single object and tell you about it. You can do many things. Now, you can even do interactions here. So let's say if you want something dangerous to have happened here, there's smoke coming out of this, maybe not so probable. So I'll discard that. Now, when I stop, I can save it privately, publicly, or on the marketplace. So those are the options. If I go private, only me, I see. Public, anyone can see it, and marketplace. Now, keep in mind, this marketplace will be eventually linked with a GPT, which will get you access to a lot. Now, you set your price. So set the price here, whatever you want, and 80% of that revenue goes back to you. So that's pretty exciting, or to the academic institution. So cancel that. Let's close. Let's say I will discard it for now. I will not save it. But if I was to save it, there will be a number of things that happen. So one is that I will get the ability to get the report. I will do a lot of things. So I go to my workspace. And in fact, just in the previous one, 5 hours ago, when I did the same demo, and I'm going to use that one. You can see here that it generated a report. This was in the background. So not only does it generate the full immersive experience, it generates all the text, all the video. So my students, before they go in the physical experience, can do that. I can start a meeting. So I can use this number, invite everybody else into this meeting. They will appear as avatars. Depending, I can invite people from around the world, and I can talk with them. I can engage with them. I can send this as an email to my students, and I say by Wednesday at 8 a.m. you have to actually do a lesson. And here it is.
Hi, you're in play mode for medical procedures and techniques.
Yeah, so now
I'm your AI guide. You can ask me anything.
I can start
quiz challenge. What is a ventilator?
So now I did a quiz. I can do a lot of things. You can see that if I scroll here, remember the 3D playback. I can do the assessment here. I can play that. Good afternoon. Today we're going to talk about this specific. So that's the one I just generated. And then I close this. I did 2 of the 7 activities. Obviously, because I didn't you can see here how that went. I can go to statistics. I'm the teacher. I can see that someone logged in here and did spend, that was 10:19 just a minute ago. So I can, and this goes into an assessment that I can have a dashboard and can see how my students have performed. So there's a lot of things you can do in this environment. Obviously, time doesn't allow for me to show you everything. We are doing deep dives on a regular basis. So if you are interested, just send me an email or send us an email and we'll arrange that for you. I just want to highlight now the key new things. So there's a new thing around training that you can train it. So let's say you have mechatronics course for 40, 50 pages. You just submit it to EON. EON with you can upload that document. So the AI will then address that train material and cannot hallucinate. So if you have something outside that, it will not speculate like AI normally does. We have the ability to also interact in the real environment. So instead of showing me and telling me things in that operation room, I IntelliScan my room, and the AI recognized everything in my room and can answer any questions about the objects in my room. It can even go so far to recognize who is inhabiting that room. So let's listen in.
Painting hanging on the wall above the couch. The home office radiates the essence of a creative professional evident from the macro and micro.
Radiates a professional evident from the Mac, so it deduces things based on what it's hearing. I did talk about soft skills, so I'm going to show you the original soft skills that we released about 2 weeks ago, and now the one that we are releasing now. And the difference, first I'll show you the basic and then I explain what's new. So the basics are as follows. That you start with learning, then you go for training, and then you go for assessments. And the first thing you notice that we have a lot of different soft skills: human resource, business skills, safety, security skills, journalism, hospitality, history, and there's about 140 different scenarios here.
This is a quick demonstration for the procedure of check-in/checkout.
So this is for hotel presentation. The first thing you do is you learn about how to treat guests, how to assign them room numbers, how to ID verify, etc., etc. All the steps that are required to do this. Once you feel comfortable, you can also do a Jeopardy. And before that, you can also select an avatar, in this case, a celebrity, and to train live how it is to check in a celebrity. So let's get started.
I'm a luxury seeker who values comfort and premium experiences. I'm interested in booking a high-end hotel room. Can you recommend any options?
We have a junior suite for $150 per night.
And the voice there is the actual real person that is trying to train for this position.
Of course, we have a suite with 5 different rooms and a jacuzzi, and it costs $750 per night.
Yeah, so there's a discussion going on here where the student has to apply what he or she learned. And eventually when he's done, click on the flag, and that gives you an assessment of how well you did.
Here is a short summary of the assessment of the front desk agent. You did well in providing options and confirming the price upon the customer's request for a more luxurious suite. However, there were areas for improvement, such as asking for necessary details, providing more information about the suite, explaining the check-in process, and offering additional assistance.
Obviously, there's room for improvement there. So this is a unique way that provides you a great value. So, okay, so these are the basic tools, but now we're taking this to the next level. What's the next level? The next level is Virtual Campus. So we are bringing all that together along with courses. So when you start with the implementation EON, you already start with things that are adapted for you. And you do it in the context of your campus. Let's listen in.
EON has unveiled a groundbreaking product named the Virtual Campus, allowing academic institutions to digitally recreate their campuses. This innovative approach empowers various departments, from biology to business administration, to integrate AI avatars specifically trained on their unique curricula. Through this, institutions can provide immersive, experiential learning using extended reality. Components and features. Explained.
Okay, so I'm not going to do that right now. That would take a little too long. If you are interested in components and features, there's a whole video.
Technical step-by-step narration for Virtual Campus walkthrough.
That takes you from the moment that you train it, how you go from text to images, how you convert images to 3D, and how that is done automatically all the way down to performance summary and eventually full interactive simulations, even incident that may happen in that environment. So that's all explained there. Now let's dive into a little bit in the Virtual Campus and see what kind of lessons and experience are available. So what we did is we thought about it. Okay, let's look at, for example, universities. And we looked at Tibet, community colleges, K-12, and also custom courses. Let's say someone comes on a Friday from Pasadena Community College and say, we would like our own courses to be done by Wednesday. How do we do that? So in respect to the generics, we looked at the top universities, we looked at all the courses that we can find, and I see out of these courses, which are most suitable with VR and AR will add a lot of value. Let's just bear with me a second. So we saw, for example, that if we take School of Earth, oceanography is a good reason because there's a lot of hard skills that you need to acquire. Engineering, nanotechnology is a good one. And here's the description. You can see there that you get, for that course, you get the knowledge portal with 10 different floating portals with text, images, videos, AI avatar that explains it. You get relevant nanoscale 3D models. You get annotation of these models. You get assessment. You get a skill simulator that trains on your nanotech standard operation procedures, etc., etc. So you get all that. Now, this is not limited to, let's say, if I go to medical, I have clinical simulations, or anatomy. If I go to law school, I have crime scene analysis. But then we also address soft skills. Soft skills is corporate finance strategy. That follow the example I showed earlier: theory, training, and then assessment. And this applies for everything from human resource management, how to conduct a job interview, to corporate training, etc. So that's examples of how these courses work. Now, what about, and the same applies, you can actually check those courses if you want. Just click on our website, it says courses, and you can see those generic courses available as a part of Virtual Campus. But you can also now click on custom. So if I'm interested in custom, let's say I'm interested in a specific university. In this case, a sample we used here was from Stanford. So we looked through all their courses, identified the one that XR related. And let's say I'm interested in, I don't know, project management or fluid dynamics visualization. Here you can see what that entails. Okay, so that's on the courses side. We are connecting this rollout with Virtual Enterprise and eventually also Virtual Learner. Virtual Learner is more than an individual that wants to conduct lifelong learning. Now, I did show you the way the text course material looks, but how practically what happens when I open this course.
Introduction.
So here's the mechatronic example, and I published this in my home. You can see it's my living room, and I can suddenly have robots filling my whole living room and demonstrating step-by-step procedure for certain mechatronics activities. The same applies for mineralogy. In this case, it's a matter of petrology analysis, surgical
robotic capability.
I have a whole surgical room, not the medical room we just were looking, and I can interact with them and their standard operation procedures. Supply chain management, anything. I have a huge storage facility here, but the whole chain of supply is explained to me. Chemistry labs, where I can conduct scenarios, etc., etc. So this, so far, this is what we've done for a while. But what's new is that it's not only about hard skills or soft skills. We also introduce virtual stories and skill quest. And if you go back in humanity 70,000 years, the way we progressed and the way we learned is about stories, right? With it, stories about how to, I don't know, crime scene investigation in this case. Or
personal as the whorls and lines of a fingerprint.
And so this is a story with various scenes. You can enter in the living room, then you follow this to, I think it's a work desk, and then eventually you end up in the bedroom, and you analyze all the scenes. You have a narration, you have clues, and the most interesting thing is everything you see here is generated by AI. The scene is in 3D, generated by AI based on a text input. The narration is generated by AI. The annotation generated by AI. The whole quest is also generated by AI. And that's, in my mind, amazing. So, but it's not limited to forensic. Here's an example.
Step into the mechatronics workshop, where engineering, electronics, and computer science unite. Behold a robotic arm and a circuit board.
So this is more like an intriguing story, but the story has really interesting aspects that have learning components.
To the heart of synthesis.
This is organic chemistry, astronomical mystery of Egypt, supply chain now, but I'm actually in a supply chain facility. I'm outside, and then eventually I'm entering to the retail, so from storage all the way to delivery. In the mineralogy case, let me just stop because I have too many going. It's actually a real lab.
Mapping in a field, you may want to collect samples.
And then eventually go to a rock outcrop in the real reality, or virtual reality in this case, but so you can go on a field trip. These are just examples of what's possible. But we don't stop there either. We want to also awaken curiosity for learning. So we push this envelope one step further. So not only generate everything automatically, but also do it in a story mode that has, for example, Mayan pyramids, where we generate sound, videos,
and you retold through ancient
images, everything automatic. Terracotta warriors.
A peculiar whisper echoed through the rank,
which is slowly being unearthed from the tomb where it's lain for more.
So there you actually visit the terracotta. If you have the headset, you are there. If you have the phone, you can still move around in that environment. Stonehenge, Chichen Itza,
span the continent,
or Giza pyramids. I think you get a hang of it. Petra, one of my fascinating places that I love.
Leaning stars with Petra's
or Machu Picchu. I've been there.
The city's lost splendor.
Times. But a lot of us cannot physically go to Angkor Wat.
Find an echo of Angkor's.
So this is a possibility to awaken curiosity. So now, I promised you in the beginning that we can now put this all together. So now I'm going to deliver on that. So we start with a soft skill. In this case, we're going to interview a person that is a conflict negotiator and conduct a job interview. But the environment that you see there, you see the skyscraper, is all generated by AI, so it's contextual. So if it's a job interview, it looks like a job interview. If it's a courtroom for a mock trial, it's actually a courtroom. So let's listen in and see how that's done.
Hello. This is an experience about job interview. Candidates are asked to perform specific tasks or scenarios related to the job role, allowing interviews to assess their practical skills and decision-making capabilities. Observation. Interviews. Closely observe the candidate's behavior, body language, communication skills, and overall performance.
Hello, my name is David. I have experience in conflict resolution and I'm excited to discuss how I can contribute to your organization.
Let's explain a little bit about your conflict resolution experience.
Certainly. Throughout my career, I have actively resolved conflicts in various professional settings. I have a strong ability to understand different perspectives, facilitate open communication, and find mutually beneficial solutions.
How do you think you can contribute to our company?
With my experience in conflict resolution, I can contribute to your company.
The discussion goes on for a little while, and you can see here that he's in that office environment, and then you can see the assessment. And then further on, we have also full jeopardy assessment of this whole scenario. So it's quite advanced, actually. Now, we are not limited to education. Obviously, we work a lot with corporations, whether it's for manufacturing procedures, and interns are able to train on an environment from Exxon, for example, ExxonMobil, with a full training scenario for a real scenario. Or this can be used in a flight to get instructions step by step if something goes wrong in the environment. You can see this is in a live aircraft, and you can train that at home also. Hospitals are using this currently
part module that
patient education,
and by having the 3D module.
Or tourism bureaus are using this to have guides that take you through Pisa, or security safety at work when you undergo dangerous procedures. So those are just some enterprise examples. So in conclusion, the benefits, if you are an academic institution or a company that wants to use this, we've seen can be summarized in 4 areas, and these are pretty universal. It doesn't matter if you are in the United States, or we've seen the same in Canada or in Latin America or Africa. or any corners of the world from Vietnam to Middle East. 4 things. Transform education. So students learn faster, retain information longer, make better decisions. Quality is increasing. So we can see that students are more engaged, they're more satisfied, which then translates to high enrollment. But you also have the ability to build your own IP and digital assets. So you can own this, which soon will be more valuable than a brick and mortar, I think. But at least we'll have that value going beyond what LMS can do today. We do integrate with LMS by that. And very important, monetize your creation. So we have the marketplace that soon is linked with the larger marketplace that GPT is offering to reach, where you can reach not only 40 million, but billions of users a month. Okay, on that note, obviously there's a lot of testimonials you can see from across the world. So if you want to learn more about that, you can link to, for example, whether it's a vice chancellor in Canada, Latin America, Middle East, or here in the United States. So I encourage you to look at that to see what people are saying. Now, historically, it used to be the large academic institution when we started, like Fraunhofer Institute, Carnegie Mellon, Cornell University. But as this has progressed now, the movement is global. So what is it you need in order to implement this? The good news is that we have you covered. We will provide everything you need to get started. You need infrastructure, so we have teamed up with Amazon Web Service. That's the most reliable, where you store all this data securely and reliably. We also have now links. We are working with Microsoft, with Azure, to extend that further. EON platform infrastructure is connecting with Microsoft HoloLens, Facebook Oculus, Apple ARKit, Magic Leap, HTC Vive, and Vision Pro, and 31 other devices. So you can create it on your phone, but you can see it on your headset. Next one is the XR platform. So we have today, we demonstrated 10 products, and our platform continues to grow on a monthly basis. We also provide some hardware. Most of the hardware is off the shelf, and most of the people, 95%, have devices already that are enabled, but we can help you there also if you need. And finally, know-how and resources. We help you through the process of integrating this with your LMS and all the knowledge you need to set up your institutions to roll out in a wide format, including all the courses. So there's a whole lecture about how we implement, and a 9-step implementation plan that I will save you for now. But I'll leave you with a concrete example. Here's an academic institution that came to us and said, okay, we want to implement this. We started with 1,000 students in April. By June, we had 16,000. During that period, they did 53,000 experiences over 18 different topics, from mechatronics, law, construction, and most of that were done by students. And this was before we had the ability to do everything with AI. So it shows a bit the power of the platform. Now, there are tons of examples. I'll show you just 2 or 3 here. This one comes from Malaysia. We graduated there in the center there, 4,395 students, 97% employability, 68% international certification. We have an example here from, this is from a mayor in Thailand.
The world, showing that metaverse is a practical, affordable, and marvelous educational tool.
Yeah, so what the good mayor said here is implemented this with 11,000 students throughout the whole city, using this in all aspects of education. And you can see here, they use it on the headset, they use it on the tablet, they use it on the phone, they use it with the glasses. And now, based on the success they have now, we are expanding in different cities. In the middle here, we have Open Arab University that rolled this out to 50,000 students recently. Okay, so now let's come to how you can do it and pricing. So EON has a simple price strategy. We charge $36 per user a month per product. Now, if you want to have a lot of all the platforms, that can become pretty expensive sometimes. So we provide volume discounts. So if you go from, let's say, 30, which is the minimum, to much more, you'll see that the price is reduced. But there is also this one here. That's a special one. Our goal is to make knowledge available, accessible, and affordable. And for places that are underdeveloped, we've had for many years ability to go with our nonprofit organization and provide grants. So our nonprofit is called Learn for Life.
Knowledge is a human right.
And over the years, we've been working in places in Africa, and we were working with partners like UNIDO, USAID, etc. But what we have now, and the reason I'm so excited about it, is that we have grants that are available also potentially for you. And whether you are an academic institution within a community college, or you are in, I would say, a university, or even if you are a local government or a company. So you can apply for those grants. And if you get them, we can cover up to 99.2%. Now, there's no strings attached with the application itself. It's an online application. It's actually here. It takes literally 10 minutes to apply. What we are focusing on is to make sure that this gets a wide deployment. There is no free lunch. The reason we are doing this is to open the market from our side, from the for-profit company. For the non-profit is because we raise funds and get it, and we need to disperse them. So our goal is to reach 1 billion people, and we think the grant strategy is one vehicle to help us do that. Now, if you apply, you get approved, and you decide of some reason after. So the way it works, let me just walk you through the process. So first is an introduction. Let's say that's today. Then you can reach out and ask for submitting an application. We can help you with that. It takes 10-15 minutes. There's a committee determination on a weekly basis that gives you yes or no. And I think a lot of academic institutions in the region that we addressed through the webinar are qualified to apply. We are mainly caring about utilization. So you're showing efficacy that this works. If you get approved, and by the way, there are no financial obligation, binding commitments, or liabilities with the application. So you're nothing to lose. If you get approved, then you have time to do a proper due diligence, to do a deep dive, get access to licenses, test everything. And then if you think, okay, this looks good, there's an offer letter that we will issue. And once you accept the offer letter, we deliver everything and we roll out. Now, I mentioned earlier, there's no free lunch. So there is, if you do a big, typically the grant is not done for a small lab. It's done for a corporate-wide or let's say campus-wide deployment, which can engage typically 5,000 students and 750 interns. And for that, the net cost is 0.7%, which depending a little bit where you are, can be up to maximum a one-time fee of 300,000. Okay, so that's what it is. If you want more information about it, we are happy to provide you. Now, what's in it for you? Now, this depends. The normal arguments for this I already talked about. Improve satisfaction, improve retention. This translates to increased enrollment. What we've seen across the world is also, depending a little bit which country are coming. If you're in a high-income country like US and Japan, we normally charge annually for education. If you compare this with, let's say, not on-site training, but let's say online, in US, that can cost as much as $15,000 a year. In places like Nigeria or South Africa, as little as $2,500. I know some European countries have even lower than that. And what we've seen is that there is a significant increase in number of students. If I had, my kids are now grown up, but if they are young again, if I had a choice between a normal school and one that offers experiential learning, I know where I would send them. And also I would probably tolerate a little bit more cost on online because I get this experiential learning experience. So if we assume modest 30% in combination between more students and the whole thing, if you take a country like a low-income country, the 5 years revenue of this type of activities, 20 million. And if you are in a high-income country, it's 123 million. And if you get the grant, that's $300,000. That's a pretty good deal, I would say, for a very minimal investment. But as you know, we are not here for monetary reimbursement only. We are here because we want to make a difference, right? And I would say, looking at this, and that was my last slide, and I'm 61, and I'm looking at the future. many friends of mine that I meet, they are worried about AI, and this will take our jobs, and some of them even worse, this will kill us. And they are sitting there with their popcorn and looking like a spectator sport, like what's going to happen. And I'm telling them, and I'm telling you, this is not a spectator game. You are the gladiator in the arena. We should mold this technology for good, for things we want our kids to experience, for what we want to shape the reality and the future, to drive this. And I think experiential learning, this type of solution, can help us achieve that and make knowledge appropriately a human right and available, accessible, and affordable, to drive prosperity and to drive purpose. And on that note, I thank you all for your attention. I've been speaking a lot, so I will open up for questions. If you have, please take a picture of this. Here's my email, dan@eonreality.com. You have my mobile, my Skype, if you want to reach, if you have questions. And if you want to apply, feel free to contact us today. We have a little bit of, let's say, limitation because our funding is limited. So it's a bit of first come, first serve. Obviously, we look at the quality of your application also. So thank you for that. I'll stop my presentation there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the interface here and to see if anyone raised their hands for questions. Okay, bunch of questions. Yes. And I noticed that Richie was kind enough to answer. So I see any Richie, anything else that you want me to address?
Yeah. So there's a question from Johanna about whether the content already created is available in Spanish. So if you scroll.
Evidamente, of course. I don't speak Spanish. Je parle la langue français. Eu falo língua português. Eu prata svenska. But we have 82 languages that we are supporting. So if you go here, so far I showed you the mobile phone, but you can always sign in on any device. So in this case, if you can see I'll Google link into Google, and I'll go to my account. So my profile setting here is for English, but I can easily set it to French, Spanish, Espanol. And if I put Espanol here, I change the language. Okay, so you have here biblioteca, cambiare di idioma, so also the language can be changed to that. So the world, keep in mind, most of our users are outside US, they don't speak English. So the answer is yes. Any other questions, Richie, that you think?
Yeah, there was a question about whether the VR campus can be added to existing licenses. So the answer is yes.
Yes, absolutely. We want you, and in fact, not only that, if you are an existing user, you can get significant discounts as you upgrade. So don't hesitate to contact us, and we'll make sure that we'll get you a deal that makes you happy. I would say that our approach has been also, obviously we as a company need to move forward and pay our salaries, but our approach is to make it really worthwhile for you. So the value versus the cost is incomparable. Yeah. Okay, I'm pretty sure I'll take a last question, but then I'm pretty sure you're going to have 100 questions after this. We will have these type of events. We are recording this, so you'll get a copy of it. So you can share with colleagues that couldn't join. I do encourage you, if you are interested, to reach out. We also are recurring. This is a recurring event every 2 weeks. We try to be disciplined about that and give you news. So it's not, you're not going to rehash the same story. You're going to see every time something new. And we do encourage you to join in this exciting future. So Richie, any final questions, or are we done?
I think we're done.
Okay. Thank you so much. I know you are calling from Champagne in France. And what time do you have in France right now?
It's almost 8 p.m.
Okay. Bonsoir. À bientôt, I think you say there. And grazie mille if you come from Italy. Ciao from Italy. And I think thank you so much. And I think thank you so much from the rest of the world. All the best. Take care now. Bye.